to Dr. Father L. Joji Reddy, S.J., President, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, Reverend Father Gilbert Mascarenhas, SAC, Vice President, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, Dr. Sister Teresa CSST, Secretary General, Xavier Board, Dr. Sister M. Rashmi AC, Principal, Patna Women's College, Autonomous, Dr. Sister M. Tanisha AC, Superior, Avila Convent, respected principals from the Xavier Board member colleges from Patna, Dr. Father Martin Porras, S.J., Principal, St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, Dr. Father Ignatius Topno, S.J., Principal, St. Xavier's College of Education, Patna, in absentia, and the faculty members from Patna Women's College and St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology present with us today at the inaugural session of the 5-day faculty development program on innovations in teaching pedagogy and research trends, jointly organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Patna Women's College, and St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, in collaboration with Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, Bengaluru. Those who know, do. Those who understand, teach. This short and sweet saying by the all-time great philosopher Aristotle unfolds the all-time importance of a teacher and the whole spectrum of teaching, learning. It is rightly said that the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires, with the sole purpose of highlighting the recent trends and innovative practices in the field of teaching, learning, and research. The whole idea of this program took shape. This time-referent faculty development program has been specially designed to cater and benefit the teaching faculty of our college and our collaborating college under the aegis of Xavier Board of Higher Education in India. At the onset of this very special program, let us invoke the blessings of the Almighty God. I request Dr. Sister Celine Krasta AC, Head, Department of History, Patna Women's College, to lead us into the divine world of prayers.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Dear Heavenly Father, the Lord of the universe, the Creator of every being, we thank you for the gift of a new day that has been placed before us. We rise to greet this day as a gift from your loving hands. Thank you for the beauty and majesty we see in your creation. As the morning sun paints the sky with its radiant hues, we are reminded of your steadfast love and mercy that are new every morning. We thank you for the morning sunshine, for the rains and the winds, flowers and trees, lakes and hills, visible signs of your power and majesty and your tender loving care. We come before you with a humble heart, seeking your divine blessings for the new day ahead. Every good and perfect gift comes from above. Therefore, we submit this FDP on innovation in teaching pedagogy and research trends into your loving hands, knowing that your blessings are not just material but spiritual, bringing peace, wisdom, and joy that surpass understanding. We now implore your divine blessing upon each one present here through this prayerful hymn. You gather people together to serve you and your mission to establish peace, unity, justice on earth. Today, we come to you in a spirit of gratitude for giving us a rich mission of care, for calling us to pursue the work of education to the youth of our country, the future of our nation. As we journey with these young people in a mission of care, remind us always to walk with the excluded, to be the strength to the weak, courage to the timid, hope for the hopeless, and enlighten our minds to the ways we can best serve those we are entrusted to educate and form. Give us great vision and enthusiasm for our work. Bless the efforts of our hands. Using innovative methods of teaching is a crucial skill for teachers, which significantly enhances the student learning. Innovating our teaching strategies is no easy task. But let us remember, if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday, we rob them of tomorrow. We can teach a student a lesson for a day, but if we teach him to learn by creating curiosity, will continue the learning process as long as he lives. Dear Lord, the source of light, enlighten our path so that we can tread right, keep us on the right track, illuminate our every step, shine your light over our every thought. Help us to navigate our decisions in the right direction. We make this prayer in your name, O Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Sister. To begin the program on an auspicious note, may I now request our respected dignitaries, Dr. Father L. Joji Reddy, Reverend Father Gilbert Mascarenhas, Dr. Sister Teresa, Dr. Sister M. Rashmi, Dr. Sister M. Tanisha, and Dr. Father Martin Horace, to kindly come forward for lighting the lamp. request the dignitaries to kindly take your seats at the dais. I request you to kindly take your seats at the dais. It is our immense pleasure to have Dr. Father L. Joji Reddy, S.J., Principal, Loyola College, Secunderabad, and President, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, Bengaluru, with us today. A Master in Biotechnology with an MBA, MPhil, and PhD, Father Joji is an academician at par. Father has been a perfect blend of an educator and an administrator. His mission is to transmit knowledge while promoting integral formation, which includes leadership based on values, spiritual development, and academic success. For his meritorious services, exceptional performance, and remarkable role, Father Joji received Rashtriya Gaurav Award from the International Friendship Society in 2012. The Telangana government presented him the Outstanding Educators Award in December 2022. Father was the recipient of the Year of the Scientist 2022 award by the Society of Agriculture and Rural Development. Father received the National Distinguished Educators Award for the years 2021 and 2022 from the International Institute of Organized Research. In October 2022, Father was chosen to serve as the President of the Xavier Board of Higher Education in India. I request our respected Principal, Dr. Sister M. Rashmi A.C., to honor Dr. Father L. Joji Reddy with the stole, a plant sapling, and a memento. Thank you, sister. A gold medalist in the Bachelor of Social Work from Nagpur University and a Master in Sociology from Osmania University, Hyderabad, Reverend Father Gilbert Mascarenhas, SAC, has a long experience of serving in the fields of education, religious mission, and socio-cultural development. Father Mascarenhas has organized and participated in many academic enrichment programs and workshops at various organizations in India and in many different countries. In the year 2019, Father was awarded the title Religious of the Year by the Knights of Columbus River East Mother Teresa Council, Ohio, USA. You have held responsible positions in many prestigious academic and religious bodies, such as Mission Secretary of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Province of Palatines, Bangalore, member of the General Secretariat for the Missions Generalato di Palatini, Rome, Italy, and the most recent one being the Vice President, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, Bengaluru. We are extremely happy to have you, Father, with us today. I now request Dr. Father Martin Porras, S.J., Principal, St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, to felicitate Reverend Father Gilbert Mascarenhas with the stole, a plant sapling, and the memento. Thank you, Father. Dr. Sister Teresa CSST, Secretary General, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, is a Carmelite religious belonging to the congregation of Carmelite Sisters of St. Teresa, Kerala Province. A master and a PhD in economics, her fields of specialization include development, housing, and environment economics. Sister has successfully completed 2 research projects funded by the UGC. Sister Teresa has several publications as books and many research articles in refereed journals to her credit. She has been member in many academic and professional bodies at the state and national level and has been appointed as an assessor for the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC. Sister Teresa has received many prestigious awards for her commendable contributions, such as Kerala State E-Governance Award in 2011-13, Chief Minister's Award for Innovations in Public Policy in 2013, Best Active Principal Award by the Mother Teresa Children's Development Society, Aurangabad, Maharashtra in 2016 and 17, and the most prestigious DILIT by the University of South America on the recommendations from Dr. S. Radhakrishnan Research and Development Center, Bengaluru in 2017. I request our respected Vice Principal and Superior Avila Convent, Dr. Sister M. Tanisha AC, to felicitate Dr. Sister Teresa with the stole, a plant sapling, and a memento. Thank you, Sister. We at Patna Women's College always strive for excellence with our respected principal, Dr. Sister M. Rashmi AC, at the helm of the activities. Under Sister's able leadership and innovative insights, Patna Women's College aspires to scale the new heights of success. May I now request our respected principal to deliver her opening address.
A pleasant morning and a warm welcome to each one of you to this inaugural session of this 5-day faculty development program on innovations in teaching pedagogy and research trends, jointly organized by Patna Women's College Autonomous and St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, in collaboration with Xavier Board of Higher Education, India, Bengaluru. A special thanks to Dr. Father Joji Reddy, SJ, President, Xavier Board, for collaborating with us to conduct this FDP. I also thank Father Gilbert Mascarenes, the Vice President, and Dr. Sister Teresa, CSST, the Secretary General of Xavier Board, for their support and encouragement in organizing this program. We are truly honored by your esteemed presence. Xavier Board is an important institution that monitors quality initiatives in all our Catholic higher educational institutions across the country and imparts excellence and leadership by organizing various faculty development programs, workshops, seminars, and conferences at different intervals. I had been observing the officials of Xavier Board have been visiting different regions, attending various events, and I was looking forward to the time when they would visit our region. We are called the Eastern region. So I took this opportunity to invite them to be with us to interact with us and to see and know our mission here far away from the educational hubs of our country. In Patna, we have 3 Xavier Board member institutions: St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, St. Xavier's College of Education Autonomous, and Patna Women's College Autonomous. We are extremely happy to have you all with us, Father Martin, and Father Ignatius is not here. He had said he would come. So in absence, I welcome him. So we jointly welcome our special guests, Dr. Father Joji Reddy, the President, Reverend Father Gilbert Mascarenhas, the Vice President, and Dr. Sister Teresa CSST, the Secretary General of Xavier Board of Higher Education in India. The college was founded by Bishop B.J. Sullivan S.J. and Mother Josephine A.C. way back in 1940, the first college for women in Bihar. Then jointly we used to be called Bihar. Jharkhand also was part of us. So it is for Bihar and Jharkhand. We are the first college for women. It became a constituent unit of Patna University in 1952, was granted autonomous status in 2018, which was a matter of pride for all of us. And we move higher towards academic excellence, social responsibility, and empowerment of women. I am proud to say that this institution has played a significant role in shaping the history of Bihar, especially the women of Bihar. We want to tell you all that we have worked unitedly to see this college progress to great heights. The beginning of this institution was adventurous and very challenging, yet committed to its motto, always wise, taken from St. Teresa of Avila, and its slogan, go ahead and conquer knowledge. Patna Women's College during the past 83 years has been relentlessly working for the liberation and empowerment of women through knowledge and value-based education. Our students today spread all over the globe working in various capacities. They are our brand ambassadors wherever they go of our work ethics, our culture, and our respect for human values, which has put Patna Women's College on the map of India today. We are aware that our country has been putting a lot of efforts to improve the quality and relevance of our higher education system. The quality of higher education definitely depends on the quality of its teachers. Teacher is still a major source of knowledge and development for the students. There is a greater emphasis on teachers who can deliver for improvement of the quality of teaching and learning. So faculty development programs for teachers is to rejuvenate and to train the trainer, whose hallmark must be nothing but excellence and development of their institutions. During this 5-day development program, the resource persons will deal with the different topics each day that will refresh and rejuvenate our personal and professional life. And of course, it will enthuse and motivate us to perform better, enhance and widen our outlook, meet the challenges of the present times, especially as we incorporate NEP 2020 into our curriculum from this academic year and awaken us to newer possibilities. This in turn will help us to sustain and enhance our culture of excellence in all our institutions. I take this opportunity to thank our eminent resource persons for consenting to share their knowledge and expertise with us during the course of this 5-day FDP. I'm sure this will be an enriching experience for all of us and motivate our teachers to aspire for more. Thanks to all the faculty members from both the colleges for joining this program. Thanks to Dr. Amrita Chaudhary, Coordinator IQAC, and Mr. Alok John, Dean National International Collaboration and Consultancy Services, and Assistant Coordinator IQAC, for all the members of the IQAC for your efforts, enthusiasm, and commitment in organizing this FDP. Thanks to Xavier Board of Higher Education in India for your collaboration and support. Good luck and good wishes to all of you for a great learning experience.
Thank you, sister, for your words of encouragement and inspiration. The moment has come for which we were waiting eagerly. It is time to listen to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Father L. Joji Reddy, S.J., President, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India. I take the privilege to invite Father to deliver the keynote address of the Faculty Development Program.
Very dear Reverend Father Mascarenhas, the Vice President of Xavier Board, dear Reverend Sister Dr. Teresa, the General Secretary of Xavier Board, very dear Reverend Dr. Sister Rashmi, the beloved principal of this great institution, dear Reverend Sister Tanisha, the Superior and the Vice Principal of this illuminous institution, dear Reverend Father Martin Porras, the Principal of St. Xavier's College, dear Reverend Fathers, dear Reverend Sister Jinsey, Reverend Sister Gracie, other sisters who are here, dear IQSC members, and my dear friend Alok, dear deans, professors and HODs, good morning to each and every one of you. Very happy to be here this morning, and we received a warm welcome by Reverend Sister Rashmi and at the same time our supporting team yesterday. We were so much elated to receive that welcome, and we had really a very pleasant stay. We are really enjoying our stay over here. So thanks a lot for inviting all of us, all three of us, to Patna. And it's my first coming to Patna, and I'm very happy to be here. Having said this, we are all educators. The first statement of mine is, promises can never take the place of performance. Fine words can never replace fine deeds. All of us, sometime or the other, made many promises. And all along our life, we will be making promises. Making promises individually to ourselves, to our family members, to our kith and kin, to our institution, to our students, to our management, and to our state and to our country. So many promises we make. But do we really keep up all these promises? Do we really keep up all these promises? Or peripherally do we make these promises? And we have great responsibility. All of us have great responsibility. And such responsibility is bestowed on each and every one of us. And in order to exercise that responsibility, we need to commit ourselves and we need to orient ourselves. And how we are going to orient ourselves? In the first slide, just check. Okay. Otherwise, can you? Yes. Friends, an institution is like an artist. We all of us know Michelangelo. He has seen an angel in a rock. And we have to see a great angel in the life of our students. And we are given the opportunity to chisel out that angel. And we are given that responsibility, each and every one of us. to bring that artistic nature of each and every student from that rock. So we are in this institution. If at all if you are in this institution, of course we have 3 institutions, I suppose. Am I right, sister? 2 institutions. Now, what is the vision of this institution? Already sister has narrated, but all those who belong to PWC, do you know the vision of this institution? Do you know the vision of this institution? It stands on 3 pillars with the 2 great values. And the first pillar of this institution is academic excellence. Academic excellence in the sense, it's not only a word or a sentence. You need to strive in order to understand that word. And what an effort that IPLC and the rest of the teachers would be, committing themselves in order to bring that academic excellence. You will be having board of studies, you will be having academic council, then afterwards you will be having governing body, and from there you design the curriculum and bring forth and give it to your lecturers, and the lecturers will impart that knowledge. And a lot of exercise takes place in that. And the second pillar is social commitment. You have the social commitment and the responsibility. In Sanskrit you say, Astasya Bhushanam Dhanam. What do you mean by? All the ladies will be wearing golden bangles. Does it embellish your hand? Does it embellish your hand? What is that which embellishes your hand? The best dana. And among the best dana, the education is the best arm that you can give. So, and through this hand, you can serve the people. And the second commitment that you have is social commitment. All of us should be able to enrich that commitment. And the third commitment that you have is empowerment. The third pillar, empowerment, women empowerment. And this institution upholds that very much in their all activities. And they draw that spirit through life of Christ and through the inspiration of Mother Veronica. Beautiful, beautiful vision. And all of us should cherish first. If at all, if you are working either in St. Xavier's or in PWC, first of all, we should be able to understand the vision. And understanding the vision, we should be able to drive ourselves towards that vision, and we should be able to commit particularly with those 2 responsibilities. That is, responsibility and accountability. These 2 are very, very important in our day-to-day life. So we are in an institution and we are given a task and we are the artist and we are going to mold our students. In any institution for that matter. And you may call it as a temple of learning, whatever it may be. But our responsibility is to mold our students who come into this institution. And this institution also is an alma mater for all the stakeholders. Who are all your stakeholders? Can any one of you? How many types of stakeholders do we have for an institution? Yes, yes sir. Students, parents, teachers, alumni, only 4. Teachers, faculty, government agency. We should never forget that. So we have 5 stakeholders. An institution is an alma mater. What is an alma mater? Alma mater is nothing but the second mother. It is the second mother. When an alumni visits this college, they will exhibit great love for the benefits that they receive in their life. So also any stakeholder should feel that. And now we are talking about the perception in NAC. All of you must have gone through the NAC accreditation. What is perception? Perception, how does it come from? When every one of us have that optimistic idea. When every one of us have that optimistic idea. If you have that optimistic idea, definitely perception level will be increasing. If you don't have that optimistic idea, then the perception level will be coming down. And how do you say? Most of you, how many of you are from Hinduism? How many of you are from Hinduism? Yes, nice, very good. All of you know Bhishma, the grandfather of Kauravas and Pandavas. Okay? And one day, Bhishma called Duryodhana and Dharmaraja. Who is Duryodhana? Duryodhana is the head of Kauravas. And Dharmaraja is the head of Pandavas. So he called both of them. And he assigned them. Duryodhana, this is the Rashmi and Father Martin Porus, both of them are organizing this good FDP. Can you go and fetch from this institution one good person for me? One good person for me. So then Duryodhana thought, my God, PWC, great college. And St. Xavier's College is another, illustrious college. And let me find not 100 or more than 100. So he has come and screened the assistant IPSC. No, he is dull. IPSC, no cheers at all. Then first madam, second madam, third madam, sisters, Sister Rashmi, always strict. I know everybody. And he was so much disappointed. Went to grandfather. Grandfather, why did you send me to this conference? I couldn't find not even a single good person. No, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Then Bhishma said, my dear, you take rest. Then he called Dharmaja. And he assigned him, Dharmaja, get into this same conference. Fetch for me one bad person. Fetch for me one bad person. So he has seen Alok. My God, what an energy he has. So much of energy. And IPSC coordinator, always looking at the regulations of the institution. So good. The first madam, second madam, third madam, sisters, finally Sister Rashmi. So exuberant, so loving, so much, with all cheers and all. And he couldn't contain. He came to Grandpa and said, thank you, Grandpa, for sending me to this conference. But I couldn't find not even a single bad person. What is the difference between these two people, dear friends? Great. Good answer. Good answer. It is the perception. The way you look at it. The way you look at it. Be it be yourself, be it be your family member, or be it be your institution, or be it be your society. The more you be optimistic, the more you become a good friend of anybody. And our perception should be always optimistic. And in an institution, you should possess this. First quality is optimism. And generally what happens in an institution is backbiting. If somebody is coming out with flying colors, automatically we will be shooting arrows towards them. Negative arrows. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. Sorry. And who is a teacher? Who is a teacher? No? A teacher who has a compassion like Mother Teresa. What is the first name of Mother Teresa? What is the first name of Mother Teresa? My God. PWC. Where are you? Agnes. Excellent answer. Sister, one chocolate to her. Her name is Agnes. Why we are calling Mother Teresa? We are calling Mother Teresa because she served the unarming, the destitutes, the poorest of the poor. And she became the mother of not hundreds, not thousands, but millions. And that's why the country and the world has attributed that name to Mother Teresa. What is the first name of Vivekananda? Narendra. Why Swami Vivekananda? Because he exhibited his talent in such a way that the whole world could realize and recognize. And that's why Swami Vivekananda. And why Mahatma Gandhi? What is his first name? Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. And where did they get trained? Who are they trainers? They are the teachers. They are the teachers. It is we. And no? A person who teaches can be a teacher, can be an acharya, can be a guru. What is the difference between these things? Particularly for higher education institutions, we need to know the difference. A teacher is the one who teaches the knowledge, who teaches the subject. And there only they remain. And from there we need to rise up to becoming acharya. Who is an acharya? The one who inculcates the skill. We are talking very much in NUP this one. The one who inculcates the skill. And he is an acharya. He or she, whatever it may be. No? He is an acharya. And every one of us, until and unless you have the skill, do you impart the skill in the mind and heart of your students? No. We need to possess that skill. Each and every one of us needs to have skill. What are the skills? How many skills? You need to enumerate in your resume today. What are all the skills? We have plenty of skills. Mainly people we will be calling, what are your hobbies? Hobbies are different from skills. What are your skills? Just contemplate for some time and know what your skills are. And every one of us should have skills. If we are sitting here, we need to have the skills. If we don't have the skills, we need to go and learn the skills. And from where do you learn the skills? Of course, I will be letting you know in the later slides. And an acharya is the one who imparts the skill. And every lecturer should have this skill. And first stage is teacher, second stage is acharya, and the third stage is guru. Who is a guru? Who is a guru? Madam. Excellent, madam. Good idea. Now second chocolate to you only, madam. The one who can dispel the darkness from the mind of the disciple, student. The one who can dispel the darkness from the mind of the student. All of us have the responsibility to dispel the darkness from the mind of our student. And what is the darkness that student has? What is that ignorance? No, it is nothing but what you are teaching. What you are going to teach is an ignorance. After you are teaching, he should be enlightened. He should be empowered with that light, the light of knowledge. If he or she is not going to be empowered with that light of knowledge, then it's a futile exercise. Then you have not reached up to that stage. What is that stage? Guru. The Guru is the alchemy of enlightenment. Remember, the Guru is the alchemy of enlightenment. That means I am invested with such responsibility and accountability. No, I am a teacher, and introspect yourself, are you a teacher? And I am an acharya, introspect yourself whether you are an acharya. And I am a guru, introspect yourself whether you are a guru. Because without upholding these three values in an educational institution, we shouldn't step in. Otherwise, we will be doing harm to our stakeholders. We will be doing harm to the stakeholders. And this is a very, very important slide. No? Teaching is one of the noblest professions in imparting knowledge and wisdom. What is knowledge? Friends, you should be able to give me this answer. What is knowledge? Most of you may say knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Is it power? Just think about it and reflect it. Is it power? Then what is power? When you convert knowledge into wisdom, then only it becomes power. See, first of all, you will be teaching, and that teaching will be converted into knowledge, and that knowledge should be converted into wisdom, and only when you convert that knowledge into wisdom, then only it is power. And once when you are invested with power, then automatically your skills will be coming out. And the second thing is to identify, total identification with the task. What is the task that we are given? Responsibility as a teacher. Total identification. And we shouldn't leave any gap over there. I am a teacher, I am a faculty, I am a lecturer, and my responsibility is to teach well. Imagine why you have become professors of physics, professors of mathematics, professors of biology, biotechnology. Why? Because somebody has inspired you. Somebody has inspired you very much in that field, and that's why we have come up to this class. So, when we are teaching, we need to be the inspirers. If you are not inspiring your student, and if your teaching is not going to enter into the mind of the student, then your preparation is not good. Automatically your soul should tell, my dear, today you did not prepare and you did not give that knowledge to the student. So likewise, every statement that I stated over there, capacity to work with the colleagues. Who are the colleagues? Colleagues, no, I know he or she is my friend. No, we always should able to think from the point of friendship. And a friend is someone who knows all about him or her, but still loves him. I know my friend is a cheater. I know my friend is a stupid. I know my friend is a liar. I know my friend is a truth teller. I know my friend is genuine. No, I don't look at this aspect of my friend. I love my friend because he is my friend. I love my teacher because he or she is my teacher. So that should be the aspect of it. The moment you look into, I know my friend is a liar, I know my friend is this one, automatically you are dividing the friend, you are cutting across your friend. Then you will not be reaching the boundaries. And the third one is, develop internal commitment towards nobility to your profession. No, we are given such a noble profession. No, even Prime Minister also cannot be attributed with this. The noblest profession is teaching. And you are a teacher. And if at all if you are going to transform, you are going to transform the world. And if at all if you are going to bring change, it is you who are going to bring change. And that's why we need to respect our profession. We need to say, with the elated eyes, I am a teacher, I am a professor, I am a lecturer, I am a faculty. And that sort of, what we call that sort of possessiveness you need to have when you are talking about yourself as a teacher. Then, a teacher should have all this value-based education. You need to have values. I will come a little this side because I want to. So, we have spiritual values, moral values, political values, cultural values, economic values, scientific values, aesthetic values. And it is we, first of all, who need to know all these values. At least we need to become aware of these values. Because part and parcel of our life is to inject value in the mind of the student. And without injecting values, if you are only imparting the education, you will be a machine. You will be a machine. But if you are simultaneously injecting the values in the mind of your student, then you are a human being. Then you are a human being. So how you will help your student? How you help your student as a teacher? The first thing is, you need to help the student what you teach. What are you teaching? You are teaching the concepts. You are teaching the concepts. And before you teach the concept, you need to know thoroughly, multidimensionally your concept. Because in the board of studies, you are given all the key points. What are all the key points that you are going to deal with your students? And once when it is given to you, once when it comes to your hand, you need to be thorough with the concept. And if you are not aware of the concept, you cannot inject the concepts in the mind of the student. So we need to be aware and we need to know thoroughly about the concepts that we are teaching. And when we teach the concept to the student, students should be able to receive the concept. See, what is happening in our education system is rote learning. And now a student spends almost 15 years to come up to intermediate, +2, and another 3 years to come up to degree. And once when they leave the institution, what do they have in their mind? Tabla rasa. Martin Porras would say, what is tabla rasa? That was a famous statement once upon a time, philosophical statement. That means empty slate. Blank slate. Parents spend almost 15 lakhs to bring up that child to that stage. 15 lakhs. And you are also some of your parents. How much money you are pouring into the institutions? So much money you spend, but ultimately, what is the result? Clean mind. Nothing is there. You are unable to speak. You are unable to address. You are unable to converse. You are unable to impart your idea, communicate your idea to the other. And when you don't do all these things, what is the use of this education system? What is the use of this education system? That's why, friends, we need to be the communicators, and if you are going to be the communicators, you need to have the concept clarity, very, very, very important in teaching. So, only through concept clarity only a student would be able to remember, not through rote learning at all. Not he is learning that concept. What is the use of learning that concept for future? In what way that he or she is going to utilize that concept? If I am learning something, earlier we are given lot of textbooks and all. No? But what for those textbooks were given to us? Why those textbooks? Only for rote learning. But here the present day, as per the new NEP policy, everything that we teach should have a value. We need to map it. Now if I am teaching this lesson, in future the student is going to benefit from this point of it. Otherwise, no, I shouldn't teach. No, in the board of studies I am sitting and I am doing away with that syllabus. If it is useful to the student and if it is helping him from admission to employability. What is it? Admission to employability or admission to entrepreneurship, admission to higher studies, no, admission to competitive studies. Until and unless it's going to help, it's of no use. It's not no use. So the second level is understanding. And the third level you need to take a student to third level applying the knowledge. You should be able to, that's why Sister was talking yesterday about the incubation center. No? They are pumping seed money to the students and they have come out with a nice startup, very good startup. Alok was sharing with us. No? Every student should be able to apply their knowledge. And without our motivation, without our support, without our love, student cannot apply that knowledge. We need to love our students. No, I say that at the same time students shouldn't come and sit on our shoulders. It should be a reverential fear, what we call as reverential fear. If at all if you are injecting, it should be a reverential fear. The student should have a fear, but at the same time reverential fear. They should always consider that we are the faculty, that we are the staff, that we are the teachers and gurus. Such a sort of respect a student should have. Then only we can help the student and we can guide the student all along his walks of life. Then the next level is we have to take the student to analyze. Anything that we do we should help the student to analyze why my teacher is teaching this concept. That is another stage of level. Then evaluation is a must. Assessment is a must for all of us. I will be also talking about the assessments and all these things. Then finally creating what the student is trying to create and what is my role in helping a student to create a firm or something like that. What are you planning for your student? If you have 50 students in your class, every teacher should have a plan for your student. They are your children. They are your children. No? When you are in the family, you have your children over there. But when you come to this family, this kutumba is known as what kutumba? This is known as Vasudhaika Kutumba. Vasudhaika Kutumba, that is God's family. No? God's children are placed in your hands. And what a responsibility we have. No? And such a responsibility, when we have the concept, then we uphold all our students. Now, we are also doing mentoring. This is very, very important slide. When you do mentoring, you need to realize all these things. What the personality of a student? Shy or withdrawn, pleasant, sociable, or angry or aggressive. All of us are mentors, no? All of you are doing mentoring, no? Isn't there? The concept is there in not? Huh? I suppose you are doing mentoring. What about you, madam? Are you doing, madam, that mentoring and all? Doing? Okay. Then the second one is academic status. Whether they are slow learners or advanced learners or mediocre student. Third one, economical background. Whether the student is poorest of the poor, whether they need support or whether they don't need any support. Then from the family point of it, from the health point of it, from the peer group point of it, from authority, from motivation, background, caste, a mentor should know from all these angles a student. No? They should know. They should know the background of a student. Without knowing the background of a student, we cannot. Suppose if you are going to a field and if you want to plant a sapling, you should know the soil. Without knowing the contents of the soil, you can't be going for plantation. Then what are the teaching practices? I already spoke about teaching with clarity, that is conceptual clarity. Then the second one. Now, traditional teaching we are doing away with. And slowly entering somewhere else. We are slowly marching to some other places, some other arenas. No? And what sort of teaching is required in the present day context? And the third one is the feedback. What are the feedbacks that you are getting? Feedback about the staff and feedback about the students. So when the feedback is given to the staff, who will be giving feedback to you? Students. Only students? Who else are giving? They are telling all the stakeholders, but all the stakeholders will not give the feedback. Mainly, the students will give your feedback. The peer group, very, very important. And much more than that, self-evaluation is very, very important. Self-evaluation. And we need to create a form. And in the self-evaluation, what would be there? How many papers did I publish? How many papers did I publish? Don't think only doctors should publish the papers. No. Anybody can publish. Anybody can publish. How many books did I write? Do I have the capacity to write a book? And did I write a book? Did I publish? Or did I attend some NPTEL courses? What are the NPTEL courses? It's not by only teaching and giving marks and getting good marks. Will not suffice for this role. There are many parameters involved in the self-assessment. So a teacher will be doing self-evaluation, then students will be doing, then at the same time peer community, then the principal, then the whole management. So that's why. And the evaluation is done not to suppress our talents, but to enhance our talents. It only helps us how we can enhance our talents as such. So then another parameter. Now this is a broad-based education. We are in the times of broad-based education. No? And what is this broad-based education? For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb the tree. Tell me. All the animals came together in the forest. And they wanted to start a school. And they decided, they appointed a board to decide the curriculum. And in that, they have decided a broad-based curriculum. And in that curriculum, swimming, climbing, then burrowing or flying, these are the topics they have introduced. And they asked all the animals to take it up. And the crow, which was doing A grade in flying and was doing O grades in burrowing, it was pecking it, and slowly it started breaking its beak, and even in flying it was making O grade. So likewise the eel, likewise the fish. Fish is very good at swimming, but can it climb the tree? It cannot climb the tree. And the rabbit is very good at burrowing, but can it climb the tree? It cannot climb the tree. But at the same time, what is this broad-based education? See, value-based. We need to think of these concepts. Intellectual education influences the head. Do you agree or not? Do you agree or not? Intellectual education influences the head. All of you. Value-based education influences your heart. And spiritual-based education influences your soul. Oh, very good. Very good. And skill-based education influences your hand. And broad-based education will influence your, Madam has said, the personality of yourself and the society. That means we need to have all this type of education. We need to have, all of us should be able to attain that. And who is a teacher? Teacher is a multi-dexterous person. What do you mean by multi-dexterous? Multi-talented person. No? and slowly I am coming into the technology. And that is the world we should be getting into. We should be getting into. No? And innovations in teaching. Now whether you say or not, some or the other, we have to learn all these techniques. And we need to network with. All of us should have. You should know what is Microsoft. You should know what is Excel. You should know what is PowerPoint. Of course, we are very well aware of it. And slowly we need to get into Internet of Things. And we need to get into AI. And we need to get into ML, machine learning. And we need to get into deep learning. And so on, so on. But a teacher, now, if you are going to have one skill, it's not going to suffice. You need to have plenty of skills, and where you need to become multi-dexterous. So this is the technology. Don't think this slide is very bad with a lot of literature and all these things. Education technology currently, what it requires. Education technology encompasses learning. Instructional technology. What is that instructional? It's nothing but digital online technology for instruction. You may be aware of that one. Then information and communication technology. What is this information and communication technology? And we need to be aware of that one. Like telephone, wireless. Then edtech learning technology. That is virtual labs, which you are aware of it, powered by advanced technologies. Multimedia learning technology. Enhanced learning, computer-based instruction, computer-managed instruction. So these technologies we need to be familiar. More or less we are familiar with this technologies. And slowly we need to come into gamification, then video games, interactive whiteboards, and we need to be also learning management systems, that is Moodle, Google Classrooms as such. Then synchronous in the sense what we are doing is synchronous technology, but we need to get into asynchronous technology where AV and VR we will be using. Audio visual and virtual learning modes we will be using. Then adaptive learning algorithms. Most of us should be able to understand what is an algorithm and what is a language. It will be a bit heavy for us who are not from that background. Only the computer-based faculty could able to understand. But some or the other, all of us are drawn into this technology. These are the future technologies that we are going to implement and we are going to use in our teaching methodology. So these are the novel teaching pedagogies that we are going to adopt in any institution. Maybe this year or the next year, you are going to use all this. That is AI you are going to use, that is artificial intelligence. And second one is IoT, Internet of Things we are going to use. Flipped classroom, already you know very well what is flipped. I will be talking about. Then project-based learning. Some of you are into project-based learning. Then personalized learning, blended learning. Of course, some of these things we will be covering in the next few slides. And particularly how artificial intelligence is going to help us. What is ChatGPT? How many of you are using ChatGPT? Most of you are aware of it. And if that ChatGPT is going to enter into the educational system, what would be our role, future role? Zero. Students may not require, students may not require our help at all in future. If they are accustomed and if they are getting into ChatGPT, they may not require any of our help. So we need to be very careful with regard to these technologies. Then IoT, Internet of Things. We need to be familiar how we network in our institutions. Among ourselves and at the same time using the technology. So IoT teaches a lot. And through IoT, we have a list of online courses. Most of you must have done Coursera. And you also must have done about Khan Academy, then Udemy, then Allison course. What I mean to say, Allison. Okay. So these are the online platforms that are given to us. In a very special way, at least if if you are not aware of these courses, at least we should be aware of NPTEL courses. National Program for Technical Learnings. Every year a lecturer is asked to do at least one NPTEL course. One NPTEL course of 2 credits. 1 credit is equal to 15 hours and 2 credits is equal to 30 hours. Every one of us is expected to do that one. Then this is the flipped classroom. No? Flipped classroom in the sense conventional classroom, one type, and at the same time technological classroom, the other side. And slowly we are moving into the technological classroom. And in the technological classroom, what we are going to is, it's going to be a personalized education. No? Only teacher would help a student. A teacher would help the student how the technology will help him in future. A teacher would help the student how the technology would help the student for their future. And that's from that point of it, you need to understand. Then project-based learning. All of us are very familiar with the projects. And particularly, most of our institutions, they send our students at the 6th semester, they send for 6 months of project. And this project should be able to help the student to realize what the skill that a student has learned in all those 3 years. And that skill should be able to help the student to convert into a firm or a startup. Otherwise, that project is going to be useless. Every project should be able to help the student. And at the same time, what we are doing in Lawyer Academy in Hyderabad, I was sharing with the sisters. Every student should go for a project for 6 months, at least minimum 80 days. And after the project, they return with their thesis. Along with their thesis, they come with their paper. And if the paper is good, we publish them with the ISBN booklet. And if the paper is so good, then we request the teachers after analysis to carry forward that for further research. And they work on that research paper and they take it forward and publish in one of the UGC care journals. And that's where step by step we follow it up. Otherwise, that will not have any meaning. Then gamification. We have different types of students coming into our institutions. All of them cannot learn by way of teaching. Some of them need to understand through different forms as such. So one of the criteria is gamification. You need to create a game along with your teaching. What you are going to teach, how you are going to create a game, and how you are going to help your student. Sometimes through games, students learn very much. And at this level, at degree level and at the PG level, how you are going to create games? You are going to create games only. All that we need to get more or less accommodated with digital games as such. Then this personalized learning, I already spoken to you about it. Then blended learning. You have most of us are into it already after the corona. Okay? And we have done with this blended learning. One is classroom learning, that is we give motivation, one-to-one feedback, personal time and counseling, progress tracking and guidance and assessments and practice activities. The other side, self-study, mobility, self-direction, self-tracking and control, online assessment, group chats and discussions. Then STEM education also you know very well. STEM stands for science, technology and engineering and mathematics. And this is not the latest technology, but this is the old technology. This is also being incorporated in the education system. Then inquiry-based learning. Some of the colleges, they are implementing only inquiry-based. Inquiry-based in the sense, they help students to ask questions. Number of questions. They teach the subject and how the teaching would be, the classroom teaching would be. We need to adopt some model or the other. The classroom teaching would be, it should have some kind of parameters. You should be able to divide when you are taking the attendance and when you are recapping about the previous lesson that you have taught, and what sort of lesson or clarity that you are going to give, and then afterwards the lesson that you taught, should able to help the student, to personalize in the sense you are giving it a small project to the student, and student will able to personalize and would able to work on that lesson. So likewise, so many things you can do with regard to inquiry-based learning as such. Then experiential and collaborative learning. This is mainly a student should be able to experience, as I told you, from one level to another level, should be able to experience what he learned in the class and what the skill that a student has learned, and from there what sort of experience that a student has received. And from that experience, a student should be able to get into the practicality. He should be able to conduct the practicals. And again, these are the things which are aware of it, soft skills and at the same time hard skills. Soft skills is nothing but about the creativity and about your communication, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability and emotional intelligence. On the other side, the 10 hard skills, that is blockchain technology, cloud computing, analytical reasoning, these are all the old concepts, but at the same time we are going to adopt all these things in the next 5 years. Then this is competency based learning. We are not going to help the students to compete one another, but we are going to infuse what is competency in the teaching line. How best the student can able to attend the UPSC exams. And what are the core concepts that a teacher can give in order to attain this. And again, you have different kinds of assessment, like formative assessment, summative assessment, creative assessment. These are all the things that we need to incorporate in our life. And traditionally, we are only conducting exams and correcting the papers. But we are going to do away with all those things, and slowly we are going to get with this type of exams. And so this is what the assessment that we are giving. And in innovations, in research, what is research? It's nothing but a systematic, rigorous investigation. Are we doing everyday research? We are doing research. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are doing research. We are doing research with ourselves, we are doing research with our family members, we are doing research with our communities. But we do not know whether that is what the research that we are doing. See, means research is divided into and search. Means once more, afresh, or back with return to a previous state. Search means look through or go over thoroughly to look something. This is what the simplest meaning that we can give to research. But what are the areas in computer science? Most of us should be aware of this type of research. That is data science. That is the area where many scientists are working and getting into. And the second one is, as I was talking to you, artificial intelligence. That is the area where another lot of research is going on. And third one is quantum computing. This is the upcoming technology. In future, in another 10 years, most of us will be using quantum computing. Then Internet of Things, I spoke to you already. Then augmented reality. See, in the teaching line, we will be using either metaverse learning or augmented reality or virtual reality. What is augmented reality? Augmented reality is one side you will be teaching, the other side you will be getting a picture, 3D picture. Okay? One side you will be teaching, the other side you will be getting a 3D picture. You need not draw anything on the board. Automatically it flips. So that's what is augmented teaching. But what is metaverse learning? Metaverse learning is nothing but creating short stories, very short stories, TikTok stories. You must have understood TikTok stories. So that is nothing but metaverse learning. But that learning has more impact on the mind of the student, because retention power is very less in the mind of the student. And in order to bring the retention power, you need to be very creative and you need to create such metaverse learning which can help the student to understand. Then cyber security. Then in commerce, what are the research areas? What are the research areas that you are engaged? The research trends in commerce include the use of, again they are using artificial intelligence and machine learning. You must have heard about Bitcoin technology. what is this Bitcoin, and how it has come into the market, and what is cryptography, and how it is being used. These are the terminologies that we need to slowly understand even in commerce. Then innovation in research in life sciences. One is in life sciences mainly you are using gene editing technologies and investing the use of artificial intelligence in drug discovery, exploring the potential of immunotherapy in cancer treatment. So these are the technologies that we are using. Then food sciences and food technology also. Mainly the novel research that is going on is studying the impact of climate change on agriculture and food production and investigating the relationship between diet and gut microbiome health. Then the other one is genomics, that is the terminology of biotechnology, and synthetic biology where synthetic artificial organs are produced, and in biotechnology itself lot of gene editing technologies are coming up. Then nanotechnology, that is where I am working in the nano, using the nano devices as such. Then climate change. In climate change there is a lot of growing concern about the impact of human activity on the environment, and research is being done for to find solutions to mitigate the effects of climate change. Then again research trends in the medical field. These are the research trends that are going on. Then research trends in the law. Of course we are not from the law, that's why I am skipping this slide. Then mainly the research is going to be either multidisciplinary or transdisciplinary or interdisciplinary in future. Now we are working individually as of now, each and every individual more or in most of the sciences, but the future research is going to be either multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary or transdisciplinary. Multidisciplinary is the terminology is given by who? Very recently by NEP. And interdisciplinary is nothing but penetrating into the subject, between your subject and my subject, and trying to bring out the novel product. Multidisciplinary draws on knowledge from different disciplines but stays within their boundaries. Whereas interdisciplinary analyzes, synthesizes and harmonizes links between disciplines into a coordinated and coherent whole. Whereas disciplinarity integrates the natural, social and health sciences in a humanities context and transcends their traditional boundaries. And this is what I was talking about, quantum computing and classical computing. Quantum computing is going to be, this is going to be the power of the future. This is going to be the power of the future, and that's where a lot of research is going on. And once when it enters, it will be overtaking even the ChatGPT. And these are the areas where quantum computing will be introduced in future. That is in medical. Then materials also it can be used, transportation it can be used, finance it can be used, marketing it can be used, aerospace and industry, so and so on. So these are some of the areas where you can think of your research. But at the same time, dear friends, it's not an easy task. One side you have teaching, and teaching methodologies and teaching techniques. And just now we have come across so many teaching techniques that we need to be aware of in future. And at the same time, research. Without research, we are not going to be the teachers. And I told you right in the beginning how you can climb up from one step to the other. Okay? From teaching to Acharya to Guru. Until and unless we have this research component in our mind, we cannot climb up that ladder. We cannot become the gurus. Then as I told you, the guru is the alchemy of enlightenment. And finally, we should be able to help all our innovations, all our research, all our technology in studies should be able to help the student to innovate. Should be able to help the student to innovate. Or should be able to help the student to come up with a startup. And all our teaching should be able to focus in future for this. Then finally, we are the ones who are going to help our students with the startups. So that is the culmination of our teaching process. Our culmination of our teaching process is nothing but helping a student to learn how to start a firm, or how to give creative idea, to know how to come up with a creative idea, and to that idea how we are going to help, how we are going to come up with a firm, and that firm is going to be useful to the society. So this is what is going to be in future. In just what I was trying to tell you is, we are the teachers, we have a great responsibility, and along with the responsibility, we have the accountability, and our teaching is going to be a contextual clarity teaching. It's going to be, and this contextual, if you have to teach contextual clarity, you need to adopt the technology, and the technological terms may be heavy for us, but in future, as you listen continuously, it will become lighter, and we need to adopt the technology. Each and every one of us need to adopt the technology, and using the technology, we need to get into the research field. And only when we do research, proper research, we would be helping our students. And only when we help our students, we will make a better nation. So thank you. And if you want to ask any question from this line, I am available to you. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for a very enlightening talk. However, I find myself at odds with the remark which you made. If, as a teacher, my entire journey is to make a student an entrepreneur or a startup person, I find that there is a little bit of dissonance. Dishonest. I would like to get my students to become not only good human beings, but as a media professor, as a media teacher. I would like my students to just go beyond just becoming a cog in this entire capitalist system. So that is where I have a little bit of, maybe I misunderstood what you say, but I think that should be elaborated. Elaborate a little bit.
Yeah. You want me to elaborate about the media involvement in research?
So I want you to elaborate what you said about the final product of all this teaching and all this learning is to get to
creating a human person finally.
For the human person and not basically a cog in the capitalist machine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Adding on to what Mr. Frank said, I believe if we do not lead the student to activism to some extent, leadership to the other extent, because ultimately, what you learn and what you think is good must reflect in the society. So activism and leadership should altogether be a part of teaching.
Very true, sir. See, finally, each and every one of us is a leader. We believe that. Each and every one of us is a leader. And who is a leader? A leader is the one who transforms the vision into action. Any leader, every one of us, every institution has a vision, and every person has a vision, and they transform that vision into action. And if you are not going to transform the vision into action, it would be a futile exercise. Am I right, sir? It will be a futile exercise. And finally, we are creating leaders, whatever it may be, whether you accept that or not, we are creating the leaders. And while creating the leaders, we are pumping the values into them. And I have already given that slide. What are all the values that we should impart in the mind of a student? And first of all, we need to learn that values and we need to impart it in order to make a true, good human person. Thank you, sir. If you don't have any question, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Thank you, Reverend Father, for your inspiring, enriching, and thought-provoking address. We will remember your golden words, Father. Promises can never replace performances, and the Guru is the alchemy of enlightenment. Thank you very much, Father, for giving your precious time, valuable inputs, and innovative suggestions. Thank you, our honorable guests from Xavier Board, Father Mascarenhas and Sister Teresa, and Father Martin Porras, Principal from the Member College Xavier Board from Patna. Thank you, all the participants. Thank you very much, our respected Principal, Sister Rashmi, and Vice Principal and Superior, Sister Tanisha. Thank you, all the members from IQAC and all participants of this FDP who attended this inaugural program. Now we'll take a very short tea break of 15 minutes. You all are requested to have your cup of tea outside this hall, and once again we'll assemble in the same hall at 11:45 for the plenary session. Thank you. Once again, a happy morning to one and all in the plenary session of the Faculty Development Program on Innovations in Teaching Pedagogy and Research Trends, jointly organized by the IQAC Patna Women's College and St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, in collaboration with Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, Bengaluru. To begin the session, may I kindly request Dr. Father Martin Porras, S.J., Principal, St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, a member college of Xavier Board, to address the gathering.
Reverend Father Joji, President Xavier Board, Father Gilbert, Vice President Xavier Board, Sister Teresa, General Secretary Xavier Board, Sister Rashmi and Sister Tanisha, and dear faculty members, good morning. It may not be an exaggeration if I say that we live in a troubled world. We live in a strife-filled world. We live in an uncertain world. We live in an uncertain postmodern world. And it is in this context we need to huddle together to meet the challenges of this time. Therefore, as educators and administrators, we need one another. We need to support each other. We need one another as active, knowledgeable, and passionate collaborators. So therefore, in this context, this joint FDP holds great significance. We are here to learn from each other and support each other so that we empower ourselves and in turn we are able to empower the students. So, on behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to all of you and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Tomorrow we'll hear from you once again as a resource person. We are looking forward to that. The academic arena in the entire India has been buzzing with one single catchphrase, NEP 2020. A very ambitious initiative, all set to bring revolutionary changes in the Indian university education system, but with so many queries and a series of ifs and buts. We are fortunate enough to have Dr. Sister Teresa, CSST, Secretary General, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, as the esteemed resource person for the plenary session, who will be delivering her special lecture on Empowering Minds, Enriching Future, Embracing NEP 2020 in the Higher Education Ecosystem. I take immense pleasure to invite you, dear sister, for your special lecture.
Thank you, Amrita, for your kind words. Dear Reverend Father Martin Porras, Reverend Dr. Father Ignatius Topno, Father Joji, Dr. Rashmi, Father Gilbert, Dr. Sister Tanisha, respected sisters, and my dear teaching fraternity. As you know, we are passing through a very, very proactive times. Father Martin said, a troubled world. I say, I look at it with a very hopeful manner, the NEP, National Education Policy 2020. I am not talking for or against, just objectively I am looking at it as an educationist or an academician for being in the college higher education for 30 years, 3 decades or more than that. So I just want to tell you certain things at the outset. What we are going to discuss here, first and foremost I should tell you, as a student, we are not able to sit for more than 20 minutes. Our mind will not be focused. You cannot stay focused more than 20 minutes. Now we have already completed 1 hour, just a short break, and coming and sitting here again, teachers, faculty members. So when I was the the principal for in my autonomous college, it is very difficult to keep the teachers in the classroom. Students, it is not so. So to keep the teachers for 1 more hour, I think I was praying God to give me the grace to help them to suffer what I am going to talk. Okay? Because when I was a student, I did not like long lectures. Because I just cannot. My mind will be focused only not more than 20 minutes. So when I became a teacher, I was very much particular about that. But when I had to give a special lecture, and especially I am told that my time is from 11:45 to 12:45 and some time for some queries or something like that. Okay, there is time. Now, I just want to tell you, we are all teachers. So as teachers, when we get a mic or any system for that matter, we will forget ourselves. So please, I'll look at each one of you, and if you feel bored, I can feel it. I will sensitize what you are, and then I'll switch on to. Here what I'm going to tell you is, I just want to tell you the content of my presentation. This is the content of my presentation. That is UGC, some observations, general observation on NEP. I'm not coming to UGC right now. NEP, because I have to focus the first part on NEP, and then I'll be talking to you 1 minute or 1.5 minutes on expected outcomes, and then concerns and challenges. It may not be a concern for you, but generally, for some it may not be a concern. For me, it may not be a concern, but generally, objectively, I'll be telling you. And then coming to higher education, and some features, salient features in the implementation strategies of NEP, and then three important crucial principles of NEP in higher education is quality, equity and inclusion. Then I will, because I am summarizing this as a student, you should understand. Right now you imagine that you are a student, okay? Then standard setting and accreditation leading to binary. I have taken the details till day before. No, I have taken it till yesterday. Because yesterday also we had a write-up on NRF. That also I will bring it. Then of course multidisciplinary and cluster colleges, we are all worried about what exactly it is. I too don't know what exactly going to happen, but this is what right now, that's I'll be telling you. Then vocationalization and skill education, skill development, then academic bank of credit, just for a short while, okay. Curriculum credit and credit framework, we may have to dwell for 2 minutes also, because I think you are going to start from this year onwards, okay. But I'll be giving you only the UGC guidelines, not the state guidelines, state higher education, because it varies from state to state. Kerala it is different, Karnataka it is different, and your state I don't know, it will be different if there is a higher education council. Then we have setting up of foreign universities in Indian campuses. Then institutional development plans, you already know. Then engaging professor of practice, that is in connection with the vocationalization of education. Then coming the latest one, Mulya Pravah 2.0, and then ROSA funding. First you had something different that's called PM Usha, not PT Usha, PM Usha. Then of course way forward there is time, because that is a reflection on my part what I have sent to the CBCI, that's Catholic Bishops Conference of India. So if there is time we will go through that, otherwise we will just move on. So this is what in a nutshell I am going to talk to you, okay. Now what's the evolution of NEP? We are going to discuss NEP, and everybody knows what is NEP. Since you are talking so much on NEP, let us know what exactly NEP is. Because most of us will say, why on earth? Today we heard Father Joji talking about step by step, and he took us to that transition stage where teachers are going to be redundant factors, isn't it? That's what I understood, the last point. Even without teachers, students will be able to manage in the future, but there were questions to that we will come. That's the main reason for having this FDP. I don't call it an FDP, I call it Faculty Empowerment Program. It's not development program, it's an empowerment program. Okay, now taking the national policy way back to 55 years back, okay, we come to back to the history. There was a commission, I suppose you all know that, which was the commission that was the first one who developed one NPE in 1964. 1964 it was drafted and it was implemented in 1968. Which was it? Kothari Commission. Kothari Commission, okay. So he was also a chairman of UGC at that time under the regime of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. So the first national education policy was released in 1968 based on the recommendations of the Kothari Commission, and the first NP, National Policy of Education, came into existence in 1986 under the Rajiv Gandhi government, and it was modified in 1992 under P.V. Narasimha Rao government. I am taking you to the evolution. And then there was a big gap of 34 years. You know that? And everything has taken a different shape. There was a thorough paradigm shift everywhere in the world, especially in India, but not in the field of higher education, in the field of education. So after 34 years, when this government, when they framed the national education policy or the commission, wasn't it necessary? Wasn't it necessary? It was that the urgency and significance of NEP was that much. We all of us will welcome, and we have welcomed it also. So after 34 years, of course the first one was under TCR Subramanian Commission report, that was in 2016. 2015-16, but there were some anomalies regarding the environmental policies and so on. So it was again given to the next commission, Kasturi Rangan, former chairman of ISRO, and they submitted the draft to the MHRD. Then we did not have the Ministry of Education, MHRD, in 2018. But that was a big, bulky, I think you all might have gone through it, isn't it? It was given to all the academicians for suggestions and recommendations. So I found it is 484 pages. And after all the suggestions and recommendations, the commission reduced that to 66 pages. Am I right? 66 pages. And that was the final draft that was in 2019, May 31st. And it was kept in the Union Cabinet, chaired by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and approved it on July 29th, 2020. So that is the beginning and the culmination of NEP 2020. And coming to I think I just come back. Coming to the need and significance of the need and significance of FDP. That there is a rapid changes Pedagogy already said that those unprecedented changes in the taking place in the field of education. And you see in the 21st century, unimaginably it is growing. So we cannot think of going back to the old education policy. So we need to, I just wanted to make you understand, convince that NEP is a must be, it is irresistible, irreversible, so and inevitable. Must be that time. Okay. And you know the world is increasingly interconnected and it calls for social responsibility in higher education especially. You will find in the schemes, each keyword is given there. And what was the type of education we had, higher education? You will find there was no academic flexibility. Hello. There was no academic flexibility and there was lack of exposure to research, early research. Now we have from degree onwards research. Degree onwards, they can do the project and the minor research. And we are concentrating more on industry engagement and community engagements now. And it's earlier. So earlier we did not have all these. Now we see the change. What is the scenario going to happen? This is the present scenario. What is going to happen within these 2 years or 4 years? That's what they are given. And almost all the states are entering into to introduce especially the curriculum framework NEP from 2023-24 onwards. So we cannot sit back and relax again. And I know that a lot of work to be done. At the same time, it is worth doing hard work now for the sake of the next generation, future generation. And now you look at it, you will see education has totally changed. That as far as Pedagogy said, previously we used to have teacher-centered learning. We used to train the students, and it's through rote learning. And the students in turn will produce the entire thing for the examination and come out successfully with very high ranks. But now it has come, the students what will happen to us? We will be outdated. Okay? So that time we will feel that we are not wanted by the younger generation in the higher education. Okay? But at the same time, as we say, as some of the reference in education, and with the vision they said, that is not all, that is not the be all and all, but building human persons. That must be the basic thing. Keeping that in mind, we will have to come to these new technologies. About the technology, Father has already mentioned what are the top 10 technologies right now. You all know that. But Father was telling 1, 2, 3, 4, how we have to go, so I am not going into that. And because of the new trend and new technologies, even the management style is different in our institutions and the governance and leadership. I used to say that olden days we used to keep the sister or a father who is a person who is knowledgeable but retirement after 60, 70, 80 and all. He will be the director or manager. Okay? Now things are different. Now if the person is not technically advanced in one way or the other, it will be very difficult. So there is new management style and governance and leadership has come. And the student community forms a global, wider, larger community. That is, and there is wider interaction, networking and collaboration. So this is the main thing I want to explain to you. This is the need and significance of introducing NEP in our higher education students. Now this is the protest aim of NEP 2020. I just covered it because it is good that we learn this by heart. There is a transformation of India into a vibrant knowledge society and a global knowledge superpower by making both school and college education holistic, flexible and multidisciplinary, fitted to the 21st needs to bring out the unique capabilities of each student. You know this, what excites me. But I say this vibrant knowledge society needs new education system, new entrepreneurial system, new dynamism, innovation, set all these things. All these things, when we say vibrant knowledge society, all of these concepts must be there. And a global knowledge superpower is first and foremost, we have to strengthen the domestic resources, internal resources. And secondly, we have to promote the networking, internal networking. We have a lot of networking systems now and international networking also. And it should be holistic and flexible. And finally, we have to look into each and every student. It is not Father showed a picture. Everyone is not called for the same. But there is a vision. There is a vision. So looking into each student and helping them to go their way should be the teaching again. Not what we are doing. It might have changed now, but what we were doing earlier. Then coming to the main objective of NEP is to restructure the curriculum and pedagogy at the school level and higher education level. Because why I do this? Because I know that none of you are from the school, but unless and until we know what exactly happening in the school, we will not be able to bring the students when they come for higher education. So at the school level itself, unless they get that foundational literacy and numeracy, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, only then we will be able to have the restructured syllabi curriculum in the higher education level. So it aims to achieve will be hereafter either research intensive universities. You know all these things. And just reminding you once again, teacher intensive universities, autonomous degree granting colleges, large multidisciplinary institutions. I have put the quotation also where it is, because if you go to the national education policy, it is clearly mentioned there. There's a reason wherever I go, because basically I'm a researcher, so I will take the books, because none of the things I'm talking from my own personal research activity or anything. Coming to what do you mean by this research intensive university? That means the research output will be the maximum, especially cutting edge research. The quantum research will be able to have, and the facilities we want to have a research intensive university with infrastructural facilities, and also in terms of research output and the patent, the citation, and the impact factor, and so on. Everything must be related. So research intensive universities, there's a final stage where we can think about it later. And teaching intensive university means research will be there, teaching will be the maximum. But at the same time, entrepreneurship and innovation will be limited in research intensive university, teaching intensive universities. Coming to ADTC, that is autonomous degree granting colleges with large multidisciplinary institutions. Now, degree granting colleges, we are most of the, in the board itself, we have 60 autonomous colleges. And some of the 6 of them are planning to move to university status. But there are so many other difficulties that come to that, there is time. So, this research intensive universities, autonomous degree granting colleges, if you take yesterday, I think yesterday it was in Times of India, Mumbai edition. Did you read that? I think I had put it in the same border. They are giving the status of empowered autonomous states. Just colleges they have concept, St. Mumbai. And so empowered, that is the first state in Maharashtra state they have given empowered autonomous states. So that you can think in terms of that, because it is given in one state. I think Kerala is going to follow that, because it is difficult for Kerala to go for university, private university, because we have various stream more, but not in other states. So we will come to that. Some of the NDP highlights, if you take, see, this is what I said. A lot of things we have to take into account. Focus is given more for gender inclusion, and even gender inclusion fund is there. Okay, and then we have children, of course, might have had it earlier, but now it's a new scheme with a lot of specifications. If you take each guideline, you will know how it is done, how the committees are formed, how the panel has given the correct guidelines for all these. So, before I could continue this, I will be giving you only the highlights of these guidelines. I wish all the colleges who are here, if you can take these guidelines when you go to the colleges into different departments and have a discussion every month, at least one guideline or 2 guidelines. Suppose in our college we have 51 departments. So if we have 51 departments, at least each guideline for 3 departments we give, and every month when we have some program, if these 3 departments come with a detailed description of the guidelines, have a discussion, that would be the homework that you can do and implement. That's the main implementation strategy of NDP in your own colleges, with the new upcoming guidelines also. You can add the upcoming guidelines every day or every 2 days. UGC website is giving the new guidelines regarding NDP implementation. So this is regarding social scholarship and especially the special needs, differently abled children, and there is also special education zone, because most of these schemes and funding support, everything will be focused on special education zone. I will tell you how the special education zones also are identified. Okay, it is identified by the government Ministry of Education based on the aspirational district selected. So we call it focus districts. Can you follow what I'm saying? Is it too much? Or am I too fast? Okay. So you can just, I'm a teacher, I understand your pain. But you can tell me, since I'm given this topic, I have to go in detail, that's the reason. Now, as Father said, now the rote learning is over, something is going only to the intellect, that is over, everybody is included, there is accessibility, equity, excellence, quality, everything is there. So, development of analytical skills, that's very important, and critical thinking and conceptual clarity. We did not have this earlier. We learned something, we don't know why A plus B square, how to expand it. And what do you do now? All of us have learned that, isn't it? Oh, I'm an economist. So I have learned a lot of theories, economic theories. How many economists are there? Many theories I have learned, equations I have learned. Finally, what is benefit? When I came to the research and postdoc and all, I didn't have to use such things. Of course, even the data analysis are not done by somebody else. To some extent, analysis and interpretation could be done by us, but at the same time, there was a lot of time being wasted learning things by heart. So it's conceptual clarity, and there is no separation between academic streams and curricular, extracurricular or vocational streams. It is joint venture altogether. And Father also mentioned about teacher, how to be a teacher. Why I say it is not, you may say that you have teacher education here, but teacher education I mentioned it because it is not come into seeing so far. So many things, so many guidelines have come from the UGC, but not many things regarding teacher education. So NCTE in consultation with NCERT will formulate a new comprehensive national curriculum framework for teacher education. That's all, it's in the drafting stage, but it's not in the final stage. Okay? So, and you all know that now you have 2 years of B.Ed. It is going to be replaced by 4 years integrated. So, teacher education reforms are going to be thoroughly a new one. Of course, in Karnataka we have 4-year B.Ed. And how it is to be done, it is not come out so far from the UGC or expert committee. Then some of the highlights that PARAG is going to be introduced to assess the students as well as the teachers. PARAG means a performance assessment review and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. This will help as a standard setting body. It is given there, as far as I know, it is for the students as well as for the teachers. Then, a common national professional standards for teachers will be developed by a National Council of Teacher Education by 2023. Because why I am insisting on teacher education, whatever we may say, unless the teachers are finally equipped for it, we cannot think in terms of introducing that in our institutions. So, but that is not done so far. I just want to tell you that can be taken as one of the limitations. And school quality assessment and accreditation framework will be set in place, not finalized how it is to be done, but it will have within no time because we have NAC, isn't it? Same way, this standard setting body also will be set in place within 1 year time because we have already at the CBCI level for education and culture, we have already collected a list of experts for it. So schools also will be having it, school quality will be maintained and uniform standard will be maintained. Now some of the challenges may not be correct. I told you it can be subjective. But the policy is not given sufficient focus on some of the problems of government education. Okay? So government teachers, that they are not given proper professional development, they don't have proper infrastructure. They are low motivated, they have a low motivation, they don't have the autonomy to make a decision for anything. So in this case, the students and the teachers of government schools their problems, issues are not addressed properly. That also could be one of the concerns. Then in many states, of course, when we come to the south, it is not this, but when we come to the north, that's what last month I was in the northeast. So in many states, 10% of the teachers, less than 10% of the teachers pass their eligibility test. Even without eligibility test, they can teach. Then some of the students are not able to read science 3 hours because they are not coming up. They may be in the 5th standard, but they are at the level of 2nd standard. We are not saying anything about those areas and students of that sort. Then coming to the PISA ranking, there is PISA means Program for International Student Assessment. That's very interesting. And India stands 73rd out of 74. Just one country is ahead. What is that? Pakistan. This happened in 2009. After that, India did not take the risk of going for PISA because so that is one of the. If you take some of these things, these are not challenges. Okay. And another point is today, almost half of India's children, 7.5%, are in the private school system, with the 12 crore children making it the 3rd largest in the world, according to FDP report, that is Federation of Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So this is what we get. So private system in education dominates the entire scenario, education scenario. Some of the consequences of NEP, if you take the educational ecosystem means the whole complex networking of the ecosystem, as we said, Father said, can be students, teachers, other stakeholders, everybody, even the civil society. So we say socio-cultural issues are there because India is a land of diversity. So we have to take into account. Whatever we may say that inclusion, but are we seeing that in our day-to-day life in different parts of India? Okay. So that could be taken. You can have a discussion later. Centralization. There is a sort of, now UGC is giving the guidelines, of course, but at the same time I can say that it is just a policy document. You may ask why it was not discussed in the parliament. It may not be discussed in the parliament. Okay, you know that. It is a policy document. It is at the recommendations of a group of persons, the education sector, civil society, other stakeholders, experts, teachers, all of them together. So, and it's a policy document. It is given for suggestions and recommendations. So it is not that necessary. But at the same time, certain recommendations can be brought under legislation. For example, setting up of foreign universities in India, we have to have legislation. Okay? Certain things can be brought for legislation. Otherwise, we need not. At the same time, education is in the concurrent list. Okay? Since education is the concurrent list, there should be a joint effort by the state also. But state is not. But now, right now, it is given to the central government and the state government for implementation, and the state government has more jurisdiction, and it is there within their control. A lot of discussions are going on. That's the reason most of the states are having higher education councils, and they are giving guidelines for the state. That much of freedom is there. And coming to that ideology and so on, you know the difference. That's only an ideological this thing. We cannot go into that. But at the same time, there is a fear. Will it go against social inclusion? Let's get to it and see. Then importance is given to Sanskrit. Sanskrit is a language. I think this place is very good for Sanskrit. Kerala, even in our school, we have Sanskrit. The only school in Nagpur district is our school. We have right from the beginning Sanskrit. So whenever we go for any competition, we get, because nobody else is there competing us. So Sanskrit, you know that but interesting thing is when we read the news every day coming, Sanskrit is used by 24,681 persons in India. What's the total population in India? 140 crore, isn't it? So after that, only this many people are using Sanskrit. Okay? And the amount, the budgetary allotment for this is 22 times higher than all the other classical language put together. Will you get it? You can check it. I'm talking because I am a statistician also. I will be talking in terms of statistics. You can check it. If I'm wrong, you can contact me there. So that is it. And if a school or a college starts Sanskrit, you will get around 50 lakhs. It is there, 50 million at least. 50 lakhs immediately. If you start the Sanskrit course. Okay? So it is good that you know things because you can go get it. Our students are learning now school. Then insistence on Indian culture, that's what happened last week. We had IKS, what is it? Indian knowledge system is introduced. Okay, I'll come to that. 2 or 3 sentences I'll tell you. Then absence of gender related, I'll just move faster. Coming to higher education, this is the, I have just taken 4 or 5 states only from Aish. The latest one that is to in February. I just added Bihar because since I'm in Bihar. Okay. So you see the number of universities, number of colleges and number of standalone institutions compared to other states. Which is the highest number of colleges and universities? UP, isn't it? Rajasthan, of course Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, let's see the number of colleges. And see, Kerala was a cradle of education. Was, is, and will be. See the number of universities, 23, 14448, 376. So when I was taking on class, I was using this table and see where we are. Why it happened? When you see a statistical table, you must immediately question, why it is so, why it is so. So I was just asking why Uttar Pradesh is having so much. You know about chat. I am a retired person. I know ChatGPT are different versions. So imagine you teachers will be much higher than that. So just type and see why Uttar Pradesh is having this much. Why Bihar is having this much. It will tell you what exactly. It may not be exactly, but some you will get some idea. The ICE portal. This I just want to tell you that just go through it. You will find it. Of course, 17. Are women-centric because only 17 women-centric universities in India out of 1,113 universities. So it is high time for PWC, Patna Women's College, to look for it. We are going to get it as a women university. If we are going to it, but we have various streams, so we are reluctant to go for it. And see the number of private universities and privately managed institutions in higher education, especially the single stream. Okay? So what's going to happen is when there is a multidisciplinary approach, private or management is going to suffer. Of course, what's funding is there. So implementation strategy, these 3 words is mainly because of the equity, diversity and inclusion. It is to have a fair treatment for all, equal treatment for all and access to all opportunities. Coming to assessment and accreditation, you know that we are going to have, I think the PWC is going for NAC. If you don't send the SSR now, you will not be able to have the NAC. We will be having NAC, not NAAC. Okay? I'll tell you when it is going to happen. Sister was talking to me about it and I was thinking in my mind because UGC, if it is something is said, means it is done. So if we send it at the earliest, it will be based on that report, SSR. Otherwise, now we're not going to have, I'll tell you, I'll come to that. Then we have to have the establishing accreditor recognition. You know that all these things are happening right now in NAC because I am an NAC coordinator, year team coordinator. what is happening? Lot of so accreditor recognition is going to take place. Those who are going for accreditation or an EDP or whatever it is, that also given by some by a panel of experts. Otherwise, you cannot. Of course, I am not. Now we are going. That's on May 19th. Last month it was there. We are going to have binary accreditation. What do you mean by binary accreditation?
Accredited or not?
Yeah. Is it two aspects? What is it binary? Accredited or?
Not.
No. Three aspects are there. That was the first thing, binary first thing. Now it has come to May 19th, it has come as accredited, awaited to be accredited and not accredited. And the threshold of accreditation and not. Otherwise it will not be. Say suppose you, PwC, where are you? Accredited? Not accredited? No. Where are you? Waiting to be accredited. So three aspects will be there. And so what is going to happen? They are going to have a composite assessment system using multiple assessment methods. Because we are not able to be a compactor inclusive of IITs and higher education. It's not my words. I have written there from where I have taken. Okay. So this is what is going to happen, and this will be the categories of higher education institutions. We are going to categorize again. And we have an 8-point grading system now. That will be binary again. And the no to inspection regime. Here will be unemployed. No to inspection regime. That means no spot verification. No manually or physically inspection done at the institution level. Okay? Now, don't ask me questions since I have taken from this thing. And what is it? Totally it will be technology. Because technology also can, you know that what is happening in DDD and so on. But all those things, what they say is they will be having a lot of ranking, then what's it? ONOD and all will take place. That means there will be a unified elicitation tool. You know the last date of SSR again, 31st of December. From 1st January onwards, 1st January 2024, you will be having binary UGC guidelines. So, then, you know, mentoring and all, Father said, no, how the institutions will have to, high profile institutions can mentor the low profile, I don't say low profile, they are not to the standard of accreditation, so we have to help. In South, we help a lot of colleges in the Northeast. Outcome-based education, you all know, isn't it? It's now we have it. It is a prerequisite for NAC accreditation also, but it is based on three questions we have to ask. What is OBE? We cannot be without OBE again, because it is a student-centered instruction model to focus the measurement of the students' performance through outcomes. Father was saying, Father did not use that word, that is a graduate outcomes. We have learned about it. So for every module you have outcomes. It's only outcome-based we can think about it. So it is totally different from previously existing curricular framework. Okay. So these are the three things. Why, what OBE is, why OBE, how an institution should follow OBE, because we'll have to look into the capacity of capability of the student, and how the OBE is measured. That also you know, program outcomes, educational outcomes, and course outcomes. The other day I met one of the managers of higher education. He was asking if there is no difference between program outcomes and program educational outcomes. Can you say that? Is there any difference between program outcomes and program education outcomes? Yeah, program specific outcomes. What do you say?
Like suppose we are talking about a graduate, will have a general outcome, right? When we are talking about computer science, when we are talking about management, when we are talking about particular programs, then it will have its own outcome. So that will go for program specific outcome.
Thank you, sir. But I should say coming forward. Program outcomes, it's something more. Suppose PWC or St. Xavier's College. A student coming out of St. Xavier's College. Program outcome is the academic signature or trademark, Savarian, or what we call it? College. See, when you go on the board, he is from PWC, or he is from St. Lucy's, he is from St. Xavier's. Or that way of looking at also is there. That unique identity of an institution also. That's called a trademark or an academic signature. Okay? When we come to program educational outcomes, you take the outcome of the student for some consecutive years, around 4 to 5 years. That can be done through what we call it employment satisfaction survey, alumni survey, and placement accounts. So these are, because since he was confused, I just wanted to clear it. And he's a manager of a very big institution, PhD and postdoc and so on. But she did not get it. So these are some of these I would want to. Coming to multidisciplinary university and clusters. Now, and policy proposal is to become multidisciplinary. All the institutions should become multidisciplinary by 2030. We have no problem, all of us. I don't know, your management and engineering, you will be getting into multidisciplinary, because yesterday in the newspaper I saw all the districts institutions are coming together, because number of institutions are there, they form a cluster university. So that's one thing, integration of professional, vocational, management, everything together. And they are going to have number of Merus. Meru, that is institutions of high ranking, of a global standard. That is multidisciplinary education and research universities. That is directly under the central government. The UGC has already planned it, but guidelines are not come. And coming to the implementation strategies, you will find all the single streams will have to be merged into multidisciplinary. And transition from there. We already have a number of higher education institutions of outstanding nature, centrally funded, how many are there? Then state funded universities are there, private universities are there. Then institution of eminence are there, 23. I have just taken the number from the Aish. Okay, these three institutions are recognized. So these will be the first one to be selected for Meru. Meru is not something coming first time. It will be selected from all these outstanding universities or education institutions. Come to cluster colleges, of course, transforming affiliated to cluster colleges later, collaboration. MOU should be signed and so on. See, MOU also should, when you sign, it should be open disclosure, mandatory open disclosure. Should be there. Then to the extent you are going to collaborate with another college, and the MOU signing is a very, very important thing. Unless you make this entire study of the project you are going to sign, if you enter into, there will be difficulties later. Then we must have agreements to redressal cell. Then what are the phases? This you have to understand, because cluster will pass through graded autonomy. Okay? So the first thing is affiliating university will affiliate the cluster colleges into single units. Okay? But still under university. And then that what is going to happen is sharing the resources, but all these things will be mentioned in the MOU. Sharing the resources in the multidisciplinary programs and research projects. Then awarding degree granting cluster college status, that would be the next status in a phased manner. Then according to the appropriate accreditation status, AVGCs will evolve into either research universities or
That's the final thing what we are getting. Then I said about the empowered state autonomy status to award joint degrees with the University Times of India on first day. But they have given it for 10 years. But I think before that, districts will come out and form the cluster university. So many salations also are planning to do that, even during ourselves, we are planning to do. Most of the ACs also will plan accordingly. I don't know, it can be different states also, no problem. You don't have to have. Coming to vocationalization, I think I can just move it because I need to tell you something. Academic Bank of Credits, are you covered with Academic Bank of Credits? Have you registered in the portal? But you can. You have just registered.
Just registered.
Register. So, this is like a bank transaction. How do you do this? Can anyone explain? I have given it here. How do we do that? It is developed NEDG, National E-Governance, Digital Repositories. It is a virtual storehouse of the students' credits. So it can be, it can show the learning part of the student, and this will be the record of credits for that student at any point of time. And this can be, it has got multiple, we are talking about multidisciplinary. Main thing is there is multiple entry and multiple exit options on that condition. If that is the case, this ABC will be in a very systematic way. We can transfer this to one college, one university to another university. Alright. But yesterday I got this news from Kerala. They have we can say they have simply deleted that multiple entry exit in the curriculum framework, and they have taken only the exit will be only after 3 years in Kerala. They are starting it, but I don't know how far today. In that case, this guidelines will not be following it. Then importance of academic bank of credits, I told you, is we can keep the track record of the students. Then curriculum framework, these things I have written at the same time. You know that there is certificate for 1 year, 2 years, diploma, 3 years, bachelor of degree, and 4 years, bachelor of degree, 4 years honors with a rigorous research. So I have done it's a curriculum framework in the tabular form. This is what the UGC has given us. But Kerala has changed. Karnataka has changed. Okay? Kerala, they have taken instead of 120, they have taken for a degree 133. I got just yesterday, 130 from Higher Education Council. And instead of 160, they have taken 177. Okay? So it may be different in different states. But this is the UGC norms. Based on that, according to, because the freedom is given to the states. States can change. But this is what all about curriculum and curriculum framework. And the post-graduation will be just 1 year with a 7.5 above for that student who is doing 4-year course. Okay? And if the person is doing 12 credits for as a rigorous research, she can do just 1 year research, or just straight she can go for this PhD. Okay? Setting up of campuses, foreign university campuses, because in the month of, there's a recent one is in the month of April, one university, one foreign university, which they attend in one of the states in India. Where is it? There are 9 universities, foreign universities are there. One, where is it? The last one. No. Gujarat, in Gift City. Okay, after that I did not think anything. So, but at the same time, a lot of applications are there. When the foreign universities come to our universities, what will happen to the existing private universities here in India? Okay? That we can discuss later. That's going to happen. So this eligibility. So they have to get the approval from UGC, and they should have legislative framework. Okay, that's what I said. Some universities just cannot come and settle in India. Then they should be among the 50 QS World Rankings or any other department global rankings. And conditions will be, fee structure should be in accordance with the regulatory system of India. Okay, the online or ODL is not allowed. Okay, and then if they want to extend their stay here in India, in the Indian universities campuses, they have to undergo an audit. That is assurance, quality assurance audit. Then they will be able to continue. Then the certificate equivalency should be equal as the foreign university certification. Coming to institutional plans, I think this one side is the quantitative, that's baseline assessment. Institutional plans we all do it in the now colleges, isn't it? But you have to understand that one side is baseline assessment, that is a quantitative assessment. And the other is SOC analysis, that will be the qualitative assessment. Both at the same time, it is minutely given. If you go through the guidelines, you will know everything is given there. That is about the student strength, student support system, teacher strength, teacher qualification, teacher vacancy, teacher workload, teacher recruitment. Everything is clearly given in student development plans because it depends on the setting the targets, whether it is going for the revision multidisciplinary or multidisciplinary research institution, or it is teaching university, or it is a degree granting college, or just an autonomous college. Based on that, this institutional development plans must be done. Coming to the recent one, from last May to June 30th, what are the implementations taken? Utsar, have you heard it? I think most of you have not heard it. That's what I said. Each department should take at least two guidelines and make a thorough study and present it here. This classroom will do every month. Okay. Utsar is undertaking transformative strategies and actions in higher education. Totally. Date and given. If you just open your website, UGC website, you will find Utsar. And you just get to open that portal, you will find what are the things. So these are the first areas shown in the hyperlinks. Okay, so 10 first areas are there. If you take those 10 first areas, on the right hand side you will find the view the guidelines. So if you take Utsar and make a study, you will be able to do your higher education institution to higher level. So I am not going in detail for all this. So just keep in your mind, because only I am giving you the highlights. Utsar. Open the website and then just check it. And now, Pradhan Mantri Utsav Shiksha Abhiyan, this is a recent one, last week. I think I posted it in the CV board, but whenever I get it, I send it in the CV board. So, see, I asked sister yesterday, and sister said that RUSA is another new version of RUSA. Okay. RUSA 1.0, you got it. RUSA 2.0, you got it. Now RUSA new version, third phase. Okay. If you go through it, you will find lot of things. Please, if you want. Sister has the guidelines. So you will find that I have sent to all the single stream colleges also separate, because single stream colleges are not looking into all these things. But this is meant mainly for single stream colleges, because they are helping the single stream colleges to come up. And why I am sending this immediately to the safety board, because we want our colleges to get the funds first. If you set a project immediately, prepare immediately and send it, we will get the funds, because yesterday's news, it is there. What is that NRF is introduced because Modi went to US and he found enormous thing of research, and here only 15 cent means 15 what unit was said, and in US it is 483 textbooks. So he is desperate, he is saying immediately introduced NR, National Research Foundation. A huge amount. You know how much is the education budgetary allotment, I mean, in the last budgetary allotment of the education? 6% of the total GDP. You know what is the total GDP of 280 trillion. Out of that, if you divide it to 6%, you are on mathematicians, you will get around, what's that, around 30 lakhs, something of that crore. You may think that's a big amount. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So they are going to double the amount. That's what yesterday Modi is saying, double the amount. So we all will be getting, because UGC has, now UGC is going to be something else, not a cheap. So it has got a lot of funds. So it is up to us to grab these funds and make our institutions as best as we can, according to the vision of the NEP. Okay, so this is what we said. But you see, you just read that, you will find it is the preference is for focus districts. Focus district means around see how many districts are there in India? Around 766 districts are there. After that, under Niti Ayog, they have taken 112 districts as aspirational districts or focus districts. You can just check that in the Google and you will find Bihar also, Kerala only one, that's why that. Kerala always frequent because it is the index is very high. So maybe because of that. But Northeast is getting the maximum. And Bihar also, but which district I don't know. Because particular districts they are getting or not. Because we have started a college in the Northeast, and that particular district is there in the Niti Ayog as an aspirational district, and they are going and show up, they get a huge amount now. So that's what when we look into, the first thing what we get is, we will have to, that's what I said, that each department should make study of all these things. And this PM Usha is mainly for upgrading, institution for upgrading physical and digital infrastructure, and also for the conversion of single stream higher education institutions into multiple streams institutions. So these are the two important focus for this PM Usha. Huge amount is coming. Okay. Professor of practice, you know that because vocationalization is coming into taking single stream, I mean becoming one stream. So indeed, now we are not looking in terms of whether that person is a PhD holder or researcher, nothing. The person is a mason for 15 years, and if he is an ashan, like a master, he can be called to the college. He can, but not more than 3 years. Okay, but can. And the amount of mason or any engineering section now people can come. But retired persons are not entertained, I feel. Because they will be asking money again. Honorary is alright. I mean, if they ask for honorary also we cannot give. If they can do it honorary on honorary basis, it's alright. Otherwise, either industry linked, there will be industries can provide funds, or the institution has to generate funds, or the person who is coming should give as a honorary basis. So that is how we can. But those persons should not be more than 10% of the existing staff faculty. Sometimes we will get them or remove all these existing faculty should not happen. So those things are the ones of joint supervision. That is to raise the standard of the college to vocationalized system, as well as to have more persons of expertise to come into our institutions. Then this is what I said, Murli Prabha, because Sir was talking this morning about this After all, what are we going to give? Are we going to make them fill with classes? So basically, if you take NEP, it is an inclusive, it has got an inclusive framework. I cannot deny that. So it's an inclusive framework. It's beautifully done. Whoever has done it, it's beautifully done it. And the guidelines that are coming out every week is well prepared by the expert panel. Okay? So here also, to develop curriculum and pedagogy to create respect towards fundamental duties and constitutional values. For that, this small guideline is not very much, only 2 or 3 pages are there, unlike other guidelines. Coming to that's also, I told you about Indian culture. See, for example, Bihar, only after I came here, I said there's Nalanda is somewhere closer, about Gaya, because I come to Gaya for an active accreditation. I forgot the name of the college also. You know that it's a cradle of higher education, multidisciplinary education. We Indians were the ones who had multidisciplinary education. Foreign, see, what has happened, you will know that they are asking to retain the heritage, the legacy of education. We need to have Indian knowledge system imparted to all the students at the undergraduate level as well as the postgraduate level. And 50% of the credit should go from the major discipline itself. That means this totally is going to be changed. Guidelines are there, you can go through that. And the last thing what they say is, it should be 18th century, 19th century should be focused. What's the meaning of that? 18th century and 19th century, the education system must be focused in the Indian knowledge system research. That is the time, transition to place from Indian culture. So these are all some of the things. Now, the last one is FDP Sakti. Have you heard this? What is this? The UGC will select 300 students from various universities of students with the outstanding personality, possess excellent communication skills, organization. But these students will be going higher and higher if they are getting selected under UGC. This is to popularize NEP, because however much is the teachers can do only this much. Sisters can do only this much, fathers and sisters. If it is given to the students, it will have a multiplier effect. So, the top person in the UGC is my product and he knows, he says things, it doesn't. It is the way forward also is good. I'm not taking up for anybody, please. What is good is good. What is not good is not good also. So this is what is happening. The role of NEP Sakti means student ambassador for academic reforms and transforming higher education in India. That's called Sakti. Okay. Now, higher education regulatory system is off. We all know. We have multiple regulatory systems now. Earlier we had only UGC, and as a standard setting body we had only NAC. Now NAC is converted into NAC. NAC, National Accreditation Council. It's a meta-accrediting body with all these requirements. So now this is HE, Higher Education Commission of India. Under this HC there are many verticals. That is National Higher Education Regulatory Council as a regulatory system which functions, and the National Accreditation Council, that is an accreditation standard setting body, and General Education also is a standard setting body, and a Higher Education Grant Council is going to be the UGC's another version. And of course, so number of regulatory authorities are coming. It may have some confusion later, but I don't know, we will wait and see. So when I see some doubt, when I ask some doubts to the NAC officials here in Bangalore, they will see watch, wait and see. That's the reply they give. Watch, wait and see. I don't get any reply other than that. I think that's enough, because way forward if I say, because it is not a one-man show. Don't think that it's the government is doing, UGC is doing, no. We have to have the collaboration, hand on hand. Okay. we had to join hands with the MOE, Ministry of Education, Central Advisory Board of Education, union and state governments, State Higher Education Council, then related ministries regarding the higher education departments in different states, NGOs, the National Testing Agency, NCRT, SCRT and so on. Only then if we do it in association with all these things, only we will be able to implement the NEP guidelines in the best way possible. Otherwise, each college, if we are going to do it, will be difficult. We have to have an open mind and we must know what exactly these guidelines are. So make a thorough study of this. I think I can stop with this because the next is my own suggestions and recommendations, what we have forwarded to UGC through CBCI, that is Cabinet Bishops Conference of India, Delhi. Do you want to see that? I'll just go faster. These are all suggestions what I gave, how it has to go. It is my own personal mistake. How it has to go, how this goes to the grassroots level through regional education. We have regional education secretaries. Through that, how it has to go. After that, I'll come for the recommendations. These are some of the recommendations to the Ministry of Education. That is higher education in the future, the research intensive universities, teaching intensive universities that is given there. So I have given there the code also. My concern is this has to be reconsidered region-wise, as some of the rural colleges have limited number of student intake. In some of our colleges in rural, say about the rural areas, they have less than 1,000 students. So if they want in that rural area, if that college is the only college, and that can be raised to a status of university or autonomous degree granting college, it has to be given to that. So that 2,000 students should be taken there. And right now it has come the new guideline, 1,000 students are now. Okay. So whatever we give the suggestions, it is taken by the center. That's my appreciation. You too can, anybody can do that. Any stakeholder can do that. But all of us will hold their hands and sit inside. Because I am an education right from the beginning. From 2019 onwards, I started typing and sending it to different things. And I find that there are a lot of changes made according to our concern. Then, second is at present the scholarship is devolved only for research intensive universities. Because our universities are not, our colleges and institutions are not research intensive universities. So the students and researchers of minority higher education institutions should also be provided or be made eligible for scholarship funds. Because yesterday's scholarship funds are also coming in NR, not only for research, other scholarships also. Then the third one is the institutions I have to enter into that. I told you about multidisciplinary institutions. Number of institutions will come together, but it is not specified properly the administrative and academic framework how we have to follow. So that guidelines must be given. That's what I had yet to be clarified with regard to. So there is certain clarity must be there with regard to cluster colleges and cluster universities. That's not good. Then coming to UGC recently announced setting up of an operational campuses. This is a really we have to look into because some of our colleges are, especially district colleges, our two colleges, solution colleges, some of us are planning to move towards it. So I think 3 of the district colleges are moving towards university, CMI, Christ University's branch colleges are moving for university or A++. And our 2 colleges are planning to move for university. I don't know about yours. So if that is the case, what's it therefore? It also should be made qualitatively enhance the performance of Indian private universities because if we allow the private foreign universities to enter our campuses, later on we don't know what is going to happen to our institutions. So because we don't have a proper legislative framework with regard to foreign universities. So I just mentioned questioned it, nothing of that sort has come up so much. Then single stream institutions and multi-institutions with enrollment due to lack of employment oriented courses and lack of financial resources to maintain and manage the institutions can improve the enrollment by becoming members of the cluster and by a good number of because I am sending it to and it is through CBCA it is going up and we send to the CBCA and CBCA. So why I said this because most of our colleges are single stream colleges. Why that single stream college started, for example, we have a BA college. BA college started in a particular place, seeing the needs for the society at that time. Nursing college we started. Why we started in nursing college? Seeing to the needs of the society at that time in a particular college. We started engineering college, management college, because seeing to the needs of it. So now all these things they say should be multidisciplinary. So this is what I have written there. The transit from a monodisciplinary to multidisciplinary institutions will demand heavy investment on the part of the man. This was some time back, 2 months back. Yesterday I found in the PA Bhusha all that amount is coming for converting single stream to multi-stream. So nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. If we cooperate and if we work together for the best of the people, for the society, everything will be well. Then with regard to higher education, both central and state governments do not offer unified directions. That's what I said. In Kerala, I told you, differences there. Karnataka, there is difference in the curriculum framework and so on. There is no unified framework. So that should be there. The Christian contributions in the field of higher education. This is every time we say, that private institutions, around 75% are privately managed institutions. But from our side, there is not about a single person is there at the policy making. This thing is there. So we have said it. I don't know whether any of the justices have joined now. None of us. Then coming to curriculum framework for graduate. Here also, you see that in the curriculum framework, I showed you table. In the table, you will find the language hours, language credits are varies 9, 8, 4 and so on. So what is the meaning of it? I cannot understand because if you want to study a major discipline, we need to have proficiency in language. So that was one of my concern. So these are you can ask me questions, please, whatever I know I can say. But everything I have given the quotes, quotation from where I have taken the source. Okay? Take the source, but whatever you can, if you want any question, you can ask.
Thank you very much, respected sister, for your enriching and empowering lecture, covering in depth the framework, the features, the guidelines, clarifications, and regulatory mechanism regarding India's national education policy. We are very much grateful and thankful to you, sister. As we come to the end of the first day's proceedings of the FDP, I'll invite Mr. Alok John, Dean, National International Collaborations and Consultancy Services, Patna Women's College, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. A warm good afternoon to our esteemed galaxy of dignitaries, Dr. Father L. Joji Reddy S.J., Father Gilbert Mascarenhas, Vice President Xavier Board, Dr. Sister Teresa CSST, Dr. Father Martin Porras S.J., Dr. Sister M. Rashmi AC, Dr. Sister M. Tanisha AC, Deans, members of the IQAC, esteemed faculty, members of Patna Women's College and St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology. Nelson Mandela once said, quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world," unquote. Now it is the time to upgrade that weapon. It gives me a great pleasure in proposing the vote of thanks for what has been a very colorful inaugural ceremony of the 5-day faculty development program on innovations in teaching pedagogy and research trends. First and foremost, I would like to express our Dean's sense of gratitude to Dr. Father L. Joji Reddy SJ, President of Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, for having very graciously consented to deliver the keynote address and grant consent for the collaboration with Xavier Board in organizing this FDP. Your gracious presence and inspiring words will always motivate us to set new examples of excellence in the field of academics. My thanks also go out to Father Gilbert Mastranhas, Vice President, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, for having taken your time out to be with us and adorning today's program with your valuable presence. It is a proud moment and an honor for us to have you, Father. My sincere thanks to Dr. Sister Teresa CSST, Secretary General, Xavier Board of Higher Education in India, for gracing the FDP and conducting the session on Empowering Minds, Enriching Futures, Embracing NEP 2020 in Higher Education Ecosystem. Your invaluable ideas and practical suggestions have left indelible marks on us. We recognize the need of keeping pace with the rising expectations of NEP 2020 and look forward to your guidance and support in all our endeavors. We at Patna Women's College believe in hard work, sincere efforts, and quality enhancement through technological advancement and scientific pursuits under the inspiring leadership of our principal. I extend my heartfelt gratefulness to our respected principal, Dr. Sister M. Rashmi AC, for her creative insights, motivational encouragement, and constant support for hosting this FDP. Thank you so much, Sister, for being the perfect team leader. I am very much thankful to Dr. Father Martin Poros SJ, Principal, St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, for extending his collaborative, unconditioned support and ever-ready cooperation. Thank you so much, Father. I am grateful to Dr. Sister M. Tanisha AC, Vice Principal, Patna Women's College, for her deep involvement and mentoring in our developmental activities. I am sincerely thankful to the eminent resource persons for the 5-day discourse, who have readily agreed to share their special expertise with the participants. I wish to record my thanks and gratitude to Dr. Amrita Chowdhury, IQAC Coordinator, Patna Women's College, for being the driving force behind the academic endeavors. I extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Sister Celine Krasta AC, Head, Department of History, Patna Women's College, for your serene and prayerful session to start the program. I show my thankfulness to all deans, heads of the departments, administrative heads, and all faculty and staff members for the involvement, cooperation, and enthusiasm rendered during the various stages of organization of this FDP. I take this opportunity to thank the faculty members of Patna Women's College and St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, for the active participation. We appreciate and thank you for your relentless efforts, gracefulness, and patient listening. Indeed, this FDP has instilled the agility and proactiveness required to achieve our mission towards the upcoming NAC assessment. We aspire to reach the highest pinnacle of education that contributes to all-round human development of our body and mind, our heart and soul, because nothing but the best is our focus. Thank you so much.